Hello and welcome to the North Bank podcast. I'm your host, Holly. I'm joined by Stef this evening. Hello, Stef.
Good evening, Holly. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Nervous
He says
laughter.
through gritted teeth. Yeah. International break is over. 14 Arsenal players were on international duty. 13 returned. We've got their massive North London derby on Sunday. Cannot wait for that. Really exciting. We are top of the league still, in spite of the international break and its attempts. We are still top of the league. But there is only one way to start for me. And I am no fan of international football. However, on 2 occasions in the last few days, I have been moved from my seat, running around the room in disbelief at what I have been witnessing on the TV, on the screen in front of me. And the first of those, obviously, with my background, is Troy Parrott's ridiculous 5-goal haul over 2 games at home to Portugal and away to Hungary. But to what was it, the 96th minute, needing a win just to get into the qualifiers, but still, wow, away in Hungary.
Look, enjoy the moment, but
Yes.
they willing them to make it now, having done that.
And it won't be easy.
It will not be easy, whoever they get, yeah.
They've got an away draw, away game. I don't know, I think the draw's... we're recording this on Wednesday evening, and I think the draw's tomorrow, or on a Thursday. It's one of the Thursdays coming up. And then last night, so Tuesday evening, was it Tuesday evening?
It was.
I sent you a message. I said, Steph, quick, get BBC Two on. And there was radio silence. You replied to me this morning. I fell asleep.
I fell asleep. I was watching. I saw...
Oh, no.
I saw McTominay score an unbelievable overhead kick. Like, a goal that in any other game might have been, head and shoulders above the rest of the goals for goal of the game.
Questionable top 3.
But my boy, Kieran Tierney.
You'd have to have a heart of stone not to be happy for him and all his injury woes.
I love him.
It was a remarkable hit as well. So,
beautiful
to
goal.
hit that first time, I'm thinking, I know he's on his left foot. What's he
Controlled
doing?
power.
That was
having watched the
hard.
replays, because I didn't see it live, but obviously that one from behind where you see the arc of the ball, just phenomenal. Absolutely amazing. A
nod to the BBC Scotland commentators. I don't know who was on co-coms, but when McLean had the ball in the centre circle, all you could hear on co-coms was, shoot, shoot! And the camera angle didn't see. We had no idea where the goalkeeper was. So I found myself saying, shoot, shoot, as well. I had no idea why. And then he did. Oh, it was a wow moment. It really was. It was brilliant. And then the celebrations afterwards. And I'm not Scottish, and I have nothing in the game. But wow, it's brilliant. It's a reminder, and I think it was Troy Parrott said, it's why we play football, for moments like this, for evenings, for games like this, and I could get on board with it. It was just fantastic. And that is Scotland qualifying for the World Cup proper, not a qualifying round. So it's the first time in, is it 28 years or something, they'll be at the...
Yes. I'm assuming France 98? Were they at France 98?
Yes, that's 28 years. That would make sense.
That would make sense.
Oh my God, who's the manager?
Quick. Steve... West Brom. Steve Clark. There you go.
2 European finals he's qualified for, and now the World Cup. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Especially not the most eye-catching of names he's got to work with, much like the Irish manager as well.
Although at the moment, there's a little sprinkling of really good quality players. I know Robertson's been around for a while, but McTominay at the moment is one of Europe's best attacking midfielders, winning the league in Italy.
And John McGinn's really good.
John McGinn's a class player.
Premier League.
A horrible git when he plays against us for Villa, but I get it.
Well, we only find him horrible because he's effective.
Yes, yes, that's a compliment. That's how I meant it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got 5 minutes in. We have to talk about the big Gabby-shaped elephant in the room.
Oh, no.
International break. I mean, I'm still quite cross, to be honest with you. It's really kind of a pinprick in the bubble of enthusiasm, and it shouldn't, because we're not in the same position we were when he picked up his injury last time. We have got a squad, but just looking at the stats, I mean, he could be out for anything up to 2 months. Someone said he could miss like 17 games.
That's crazy.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But do you want to hear our win percentage with and without him?
No, I don't. I'm going to log off.
Close your ears then.
Oh, for God's sake.
And this is dating back to 2020.
Okay.
Our win percentage with him in the team is 64. Without him in the team is 40. I mean, that's a considerable drop.
It is.
However, the replacements are better now.
Oh, massive. I was just going to say, in 2020, 2021, maybe even push into 2022, the team around him, he wasn't the player he is now, and the players around him certainly weren't.
Can I entertain you with the names of the other centre-back replacements in 2020?
Oh, can I guess?
Because I did look. Go on, guess.
David Luiz.
Yes.
Socrates.
No, I didn't have him on my list. That doesn't say he's not.
Mustafi.
No, he wasn't on the list either. I think he must have gone.
Holy moly. Pablo Mari.
Yes, well done.
Hey.
That's two. I've got two more.
You've got two more. Pure centre-backs or anyone
yes,
that's...
pure centre-backs.
Pure centre-backs.
So Kolasinac is there.
Rob Holding.
Rob Holding. And similarly, Southampton.
Callum Chambers.
Callum Chambers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, now we're looking at Saliba, Mosquera, Nketiah. Timber can do a job there. Ben White can do a job there.
Okay. Don't give me your whole team yet, but I think it's... Let's talk about who could replace Gabriel. I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 options.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go through the 4 options and see which one you think might be more of a goer, which one Arteta might go for, or you may have another one
in the next game or long term?
I'm talking about, right. We have to think North London derby on Sunday, so
sure. Okay.
Definitely next game, and it might tally for. So, option number 1 would be Calafiori. If this is for me, would be like not me personally, sorry, but would be Calafiori because his left side is slip into centre back, and then you've got Lewis Skelly or Nketiah at left back. Number 2, Nketiah could go straight in as a left-sided centre back, and Calafiori stays at left back. Mosquera could play at left back. Does mean you've got 2 right-footed centre backs, which got me thinking about Timber. Timber could play. He's played centre back for Holland again during this international break as well. He could play centre back. I know you still got the 2 right-footed centre backs, but Timber has played at left back before. And Timber's just amazing. And then you could play Mosquera at right back. I mean, Ben White's around as well. They're my 4 options. Have you got another option or one of those, do you think?
No, not in terms of sort of personnel. So then it's just about best fit or tactically what you're going to get from them in particular.
So what do you think he'll do?
What I think he will do is play Mosquera, purely in terms of Calafiori has been doing so well at left back. Although there was a question mark over his fitness, he ended up not playing for Italy in the international break. That was seen as more precautionary because he just had a heavy load and they didn't want to risk anything. That's sensible, isn't it? Imagine them doing that in Brazil.
Okay.
Timber has been brilliant and is brilliant. And despite the fact that he's played centre-back for the Netherlands, he's been exceptional at right-back for us. And I'm in a place now, and I wonder if Arteta is, where, okay, we've lost Gabriel. It's a big loss. But at the same time, why then make more changes that are going to have knock-on effects elsewhere on the pitch if there are a couple that could slot in? So for me, it's Nketiah or Mosquera. And I'm probably edging with Mosquera purely because he's played a few more minutes
He's
in
more
English
bedded
football.
in, isn't he?
He's more bedded in. Nketiah, I'm sure Ecuador had a friendly at some points, but whether he played...
He played 90 minutes in both games.
There you go.
They finished last
Later.
night.
So I'm thinking
morning,
Mosquera's the one for that reason.
Although it's Sunday, it's only Wednesday night now.
True. Yeah.
Okay, look, we'll come back to the team when we're looking ahead to Spurs on Sunday. Who do you blame for Gabriel's injury then? Because you alluded to a little jab at there at Brazil.
Life. The universe. Look, I've said many a times that Napoleon always wanted lucky generals, not necessarily good ones. Arteta doesn't have the look. Players are carrying loads. If they're saying it's a load injury, that's an injury that Gabriel could have got on Sunday. It's one of those.
I heard he was training on his own on Friday.
Oh, well, then that's ridiculous because...
Like Calafiori was.
This is the thing. Sensible option, longer term. Because Italy had some meaningful games. It wasn't like he was ducking friendlies. I mean, things were pretty good for Italy, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But ultimately, they were more competitive than these showpiece games at the Emirates for Brazil. So the fact that he's training on his own, no, just don't take the risk. What's the point?
Okay, so how much falls to Gabriel's responsibility? I can understand, we say it was a meaningless game. Not
Never
for him,
is.
it wasn't.
No, never is for players.
Representing his country.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere that he missed an international game, another friendly in Brazil for the birth of his child 2 or 3 years back and didn't get into the next squad. And that might have been playing at the back of his mind.
Of course.
Also, the game being at the Emirates.
Yeah, I get it. I get all of those things. And that's why, sitting here and pointing the fingers and doing the blame game, sadly, these things happen. Because I'm in an Arsenal bubble, I'm sure there are other players who have been crocked over this period that, we're not aware of. But
okay, you said Arteta and unlucky general. If there are this many muscular injuries, surely it's not luck. At what point does the number of injuries remove luck, misfortune from the equation? Ødegaard is our only non-muscular injury. And we've got a Gabriel included last season, had an operation last season. Gyökeres never had a muscular injury before. Well, welcome to Arsenal. We'll sort that out for you.
Yeah, I get that. And you would hope that in the background the club are aware of that and looking into that. If people are noticing it and raising an eyebrow like Ancelotti, who picked Gabriel to play in that Brazil game. And
apologised. When I heard him say sorry, I got worried. It elevated my fear.
Yeah.
Because he obviously knew it was bad.
So what is it? Are we doing too much gym work and building those muscles up in what is effectively such a fast game in the Premier League that the size of muscles can't take the load? Or is it a case of intensity across training and then into games? Is it lack of rest time in between games?
Okay, this isn't relevant for Gabriel necessarily. I mean, Calafiori's got a checkered history as well in terms of injuries. But because all our injured players this season had been concentrated in the attack, I was more inclined to lay the blame at the intensity of our play off the ball, the press, because we are demons at it. And the number of injuries we got across the front. I mean, Saka, Ødegaard, Martinelli. In fact, Trossard, and we'll talk about him later, he's the only one who hasn't succumbed to a muscular injury. So all hail Leo. Let me just read out. Chris can't be with us this evening, but he has sent in his thoughts on the injuries, and I'll read verbatim what he's written. On injuries, just as a possible counter opinion, if you recall the articles he found last season from physio citing too little intense training, possibly leading to injuries, and it's about finding the sweet spot. Arteta has alluded to this last season, saying he couldn't train the players hard enough because there was so little recovery time. So it points to just the sheer volume of games is the problem. The recovery time's down. Interestingly, just on that, he's made that. Just reading that has made me realise that Gyökeres was rested for one game this season.
Well, this is it.
And it was the game before the Burnley game in which he picked up his muscle injury.
Yeah.
And we all wanted him rested for the cup game in midweek.
Yes, we did. And
maybe that played into, you just don't know. For me, it's the sheer volume of injuries, muscular injuries that is raising a problem. It's raising a red flag. It has to. So he says, just a thought. Little coverage, not enough recovery time means he can't train them as hard, so maybe there's more intensity in the game, has a bigger impact. I don't know.
And as much as it absolutely is affecting us and disproportionately in those attackers and their muscles, it is surprising. There is a trend in these recent years, lots of teams carrying injuries to lots of different players in sort of different ways. You know, we're playing Spurs this weekend, who just in sheer number of players, I think it is, isn't it? Of out at one particular time, that there's a huge amount of injuries. Although I have seen a couple of Spurs fans online sort of talking about, I'm not sure that the players that are out would make a huge amount of difference, but that's obviously just their view of their team. But I don't know, there does seem to be quite a number of injuries kicking around, which is why squads are built to try and be as heavy as possible and as deep as possible. And it's why we've made those signings in the summer. But it doesn't help. You know, the point of Gyökeres was that him and Havertz could lead the line and dovetail, and it's just not happened, has it?
Now we haven't got either of them.
No, and this is it. I saw a thing earlier saying that Arsenal should have these players, and there was a few of them, obviously Gabriel and Jesus not included, they should all be back by the start of December. And in my head I went, oh brilliant, back in time for those other players who are going to carry that load up until then to then themselves get injured. Brilliant. I've sort of tipped over, the Gabriel injury certainly has tipped over my mindset into a little bit of doom and gloom, because we're just not catching a break, or it feels that to us. Obviously we're biased, but you know.
Name another player in the squad as irreplaceable as Gabriel. I can think of one.
Raya would pose a bit of a drop-off.
Yeah, I think Kepa's got a similar profile. I think
in that one position, I think he would make a bit of a difference. And then Rice is probably after that as well. Yeah,
Rice would be the one for me.
Yeah,
especially Rice with Zubimendi in the team. He just gives them a lot more.
So. Adam Keyes, Arsenal Therapy podcast, he had a good way of putting it. He says, it's not so much the injury to Gabriel, it's the length of time that he's going to be out, because we have enough in place to cover him for the odd game or two. But when you're looking at, like you hinted at, it could be upward of 17 games. That is long enough to have a trend where the skills and the attributes he has simply won't be made up for by whoever replaces him. They'll bring their own attributes in some way, but when you think of the level of defending that he leads, and also the thing that worries me is how good he is in the opposition box. That whole set-piece FC, the threat, the psychology in people's heads, all the signals, all the movement trying to either get on the end of the ball or drag it away, that's going to be massive. So the last couple of seasons, Kivior was there and was an able deputy. Couple of headed goals, very good headed goal against Palace, I seem to remember, almost from the edge of the box. But ultimately, yeah, you feel it over a longer period of time. So whoever comes in has got to step up.
Systemically, we won't be impacted.
No,
which is good. That's important. But over multiple games, the natural quality that this player in particular brings to each game in both boxes will cost us points.
It's hard to
we
argue.
Will now drop points that we wouldn't do if he was in the team. especially if it's... I mean, I think in the next 3 games, the first 3 games, and then we got to go to Villa. I know we were at home to Brentford, then we got to go to Villa. It's like...
Yep.
Oh.
In it.
Or, you know, just to kind of be a little bit more upbeat, I've said several times this season already, this is a different iteration of Arsenal.
Yeah.
And maybe we're about to find out or learn or observe, witness yet another example of just how different we are this season. And that's what we got to hope for. Any player that comes in is going to have the full support and backing of their teammates, because they are all quality international players. And Mosquera, actually, although he's not a full international perhaps, he's demonstrated he's more than able.
Well, that's what I was going to say. 70-odd games for Valencia in La Liga, and Spain under-21 international. You've got Nkapia, who came from Bayer Leverkusen, went a season unbeaten at the heart of their defence. You've got Ben White in the wings, who has been exceptional for us and does very well when he comes on. So that, the level of player replacing is of an incredible standard. That's why I said about maybe not moving pieces around too much to disrupt the rest of the system, but they're great.
And all the other players on the pitch are going to be aware that Gabriel's not there, and they may, not that they don't raise their game anyway, but there's that added little impetus that, like, come on, we'll do it for him, but we need to do it because he's not here as well. We need to lift it, make sure that this isn't costly.
Oh, you saying do it for him as Mal, I've just got that image of Robert Pires on crutches. Yes.
I didn't want to say it, but that's what I was thinking, yes.
Yeah, lovely scenes.
We don't want to see Gabriel on crutches. I just want for the record to say that. I don't want to see a picture.
But that idea of a team, continuing in the same manner. I also have a vivid memory, much more recently, obviously, of Gabriel out, relatively long-term injury, but after Kivior had put in a brilliant performance, him being there, in his, everyday clothes, and just like really celebrating with Kivior as he came off the pitch, because Kivior had stepped up and done so well. So, the collective hopefully is going to buy into that, and fingers crossed we'll sort of make up for it.
We are recording this on Wednesday evening, and so you guys watching or listening to this on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whenever, you're going to be better informed than we are in terms of player availability for Sunday. Havertz was a hopeful, but the German Nagelsmann announced yesterday or mentioned yesterday that he's had a little bit of a setback, and now it's going to be December before we see Havertz. Madueke was a possibility for the Sunderland squad, so 2 weeks later, presumably, he will be on the bench. Ødegaard travelled to Norway, and congratulations to Norway. They've qualified for the World Cup as well, and he took part in those celebrations and so on. So hopefully he'll be back. I haven't heard either way whether he is or isn't. Martinelli could be back. I think the bench I'm hoping the bench, we're going to need them. None of the players who've been absent will be starting. Gyökeres, Hand of Arsenal, tweeted yesterday that Gyökeres is still a major doubt for Sunday. So if he's a major doubt for Sunday, 5 days away from the game, then presumably that kind of disqualifies him from that game. But maybe the Chelsea game the following weekend might be more realistic, and if that's the case, then okay, that's fine. He'll have missed 2 league games, but one of those already we've dropped points in. Let's not continue that particular trend. Have you heard of anybody who's definitely back, or is it?
No.
Arteta's
if anything, the way you presented it was even slightly more positive, because Martinelli was on that list of players that are probably more likely back start of December. So that puts them off a couple of weeks, but fingers crossed. So even someone like Madueke would be a massive boon at the moment, just to add some legs and some speed into that front line.
Should we talk about Spurs?
No.
Spurs are the Jekyll and Hyde of the Premier League at the moment.
Yeah.
They're away form. So they're 5th on 18 points, which is
good.
8 points behind us. Incentive there to close that gap to 5 points if they beat us. They're their away record, they've won 4 and drawn 1. They've scored 12, conceded 3. It's the joint best away record in the Premier League. Their home record is the second worst home record. But they're not playing at home. They're playing they beat City at City 2-0. They beat West Ham 3-0 now West Ham. They beat Everton 3-0 at whatever the new stadium's called, and they beat Leeds 2-1 at Leeds. Their only draw was 2-2 at Brighton. They're going to be a threat because Frank's a Brentford manager still, like in his outlook perhaps, and so he sets his teams up. And Brentford caused us problems.
Weirdly, Brentford caused us more problems at their place. At our place, that was always a bit more straightforward.
And
the odd result.
Spurs have, you've already hinted, they've got a host of injury issues themselves. The long-term injuries, Maddison and Kulusevski, certainly. Solanke, I think. A couple of Spurs fans I was chatting to this week, that there's a whole raft of players who are due back and they may well be on the bench, but they won't be fit enough to start the game against us. And then there's doubts over Sarr and Kolo Muani and Kudus, but they're more likely to be available to start the game. For them, I guess it's ensuring that they've got Romero and Van der Ven as the 2 centre-backs intact, and in front of them they'll have Bentancur and Sarr, hopefully from their perspective. Oh, Palhinha, yeah. And that's been the criticism from the Spurs fans, is that he plays too many defensive-minded midfielders, but I don't think that would be a complaint on Sunday. I think they would expect him to set out like that.
But I think where the complaint comes in is like when you're away from home and you play those 2 defensive players, like that's fine because the onus isn't on you to necessarily go out and attack the game. But then it sets them up nicely to play that counter-attacking football that they can do because they've got the likes of Kudus on the wing. I don't know if he's been starting, but Brennan Johnson, I saw him for a few minutes for Wales last night. He scored a nice goal against North Macedonia. Whereas at home, when you play the 2 defensive midfielders, it can clog up the midfield a little bit and slow things down. And yeah, that's what is causing a lot of.
I just know that. No, I don't know. I fear that Xavi Simons is going to haunt me on Sunday. Because I didn't want him at Arsenal when we were linked to him, and he's gone to Spurs and he's justified that desire not to have him at Arsenal pretty much every time he's played. So you just know his win over the fan performance is going to be on Sunday. You don't know, you fear. I'm saying it now to kind of double bluff it so it doesn't happen.
Doesn't help.
Are you worried?
Yes, of course I'm worried. I'm worried because of all you've said about their form. I'm worried because of the loss of Gabriel. And I'm just, I don't know, worried at elements that I saw against Sunderland and just thinking about the likes of Palhinha in that midfield and how that could set up. And I really shouldn't be. We are top of the league. We have some excellent players. Saka was brilliant for England. Rice was brilliant for England. And yeah.
And they were rested a little bit as well. And their game was on. They've got a week's rest as well.
Yeah. So, there should be elements of positive, but it's that natural thing. And it's the derby. It's Tottenham and it's them lot and it's annoying. So there's more emotion. There's more stuff going on in the belly than there is in the head this week. Yeah. Okay.
Do you want to hit me with your predicted team?
Okay. I don't know that there's much scope, as you might want to say, for who could be in there. So nice and simple. Raya in goal. Timber, Saliba, Mosquera, Miles Lewis, Skelly. I've gone with. I'm still. I don't know what the call is on Calafiori, so
apparently he's fine.
Okay, I hope he is, because if he is, he starts ahead of Lewis Skelly for me. Anyway, midfield 3: Eze, Zubamendi, Rice. Front 3: Saka, Marino, Trossard. I don't know what much more you can do up front.
Marino went off at half-time in Spain's last game. I haven't dared look into why he went off at half-time.
God.
It was 1-1 at the time, and the game ended 2-2. Zubimendi, I don't think, came on at all. I think he was rested, as was Saliba for France's second game. But so I don't know about Marino at half-time. I haven't looked it up. I don't want to know. Just reading what Chris has said. Spurs, big game. If results go against us, City are a point behind. City are playing at Newcastle on Saturday. Is that right? I think that's right. And Newcastle, they've had a player sent off. About 3 players went off injured in their last league game, just in time to have nobody available for the visit of Man City, which is great. Course. Woe is me.
Mm-hmm.
They'll fancy themselves with their away record, less pressure, etc. Mad to think we'd probably prefer to play them at theirs right now. Chris's team, Raya, Timber, Saliba, Mosquera, Calafiori. So that's the same as yours, same as your back four, because you said if Calafiori's fit, you'd play him.
Yeah.
And the rest of his team's the same as yours. I've gone slightly different. I kind of pontificated for quite a while over who partners Saliba at centre back, and I've if these players are available, this is what I think he'll do: Timber, Saliba, Calafiori, Hincapié, or reverse those two, Hincapié or Calafiori, but it'll be those two, and minimal disruption. He'll play Calafiori at left back. Does he want to start Hincapié in a North London derby at centre back? That's the question. And again, he finished his game at 3 a.m. this morning. But again, it's Sunday. He's got to travel back from South America or wherever the game was. I'm not sure. Same. And then my front six are the same as, or my Zubimendi, Rice, Eze, Saka, Marino, Trossard. Hopefully seeing a bench that's a lot stronger, with certainly Madueke on it to come on for the last 15, 20
minutes. Who else would be there? I mean, Nwaneri did pretty well for the under-21s from the bits that I read about it, but didn't watch. Dowman will be there.
Dowman
I think he played
180 minutes over. He played 180 minutes over 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, he might sit on the bench pure.
Oh, he'll be on the bench
because of numbers. Whether you want to be drawing upon him, I don't really know.
Well, Lewis Skelly and Ben White will be on the bench.
Lewis Skelly, Ben White, Norgard.
Yeah,
attacking wise, it's a bit light.
Well, you'd have Nwaneri. Sorry,
Madueke though. Yeah. If he can get him on the bench.
I was kind of hoping Ødegaard and Martinelli would also be there, but you said
too early. I think.
You said, what about Ødegaard? They wouldn't have let him go to Norway if he's...
Yeah, but it was to go there in his captain's role and to be there as a presence.
A lot of jumping up and down, celebrating. Come on, that's got to be bad for the knee. If it's...
I also don't think it can be helped. His country that he captains has just made it to the World Cup. It's one of those, but fingers crossed. That's all I can say. I did read some brilliant things. There was a player that was interviewed about, or he was obviously interviewed generally about the games and stuff, but he made a great point about how Ødegaard came in, spoke to the team, such a calm presence, but also an insightful presence. You know, he would be in at half-time and pointing things out, and is just, you know, he's not a gesticulating all-action leader, but he is a leader. And I think he's a great captain. I really, really want him back as soon as possible.
He is management material, isn't he? He's like Arteta was.
I can see it.
In the team. Okay. I'll give you Chris's score first.
Let's do it.
Chris, mate, come on. You've let me down. He's gone for a 1-1 draw and he has apologised for it.
Yeah.
Oh, he said he would prefer Hincapié's profile at left centre-back, more aggressive, naturally left-sided, but Mosquera has the game time and not a bad deputy, so that's why he's opted for Hincapié at Mosquera at centre-back, and he's gone for 1-1.
Okay.
And I suspect Stef, and I know you've qualified it by saying you had written it down before.
I have written it down before we recorded, yep.
If you're not predicting a draw, I will fall off my chair.
Brace yourself. 2-1 Arsenal.
No effing way.
Spurs' injuries, and I know we've lost a big player, but it's a team that's still done well. We created a lot of chances against Sunderland. It's a weird game. Yeah, 2-1 Arsenal. It'll be close.
I also have gone 2-1 Arsenal.
Have you? It will be nip and tuck. I can't see it being one of those barnstorming North London derbies that's a good watch. I don't know. I've got a feeling it's going to be tense and I don't know. Ugh.
An early red card for them would be nice. Settle the nerves.
I mean, obviously around this time you get lots of highlights of previous London derbies, and I always love seeing that. The second 5-2 when Adebayor was sent off. I had so much fun that day.
I mean, I could not believe he launched himself.
It was a ridiculous challenge.
Mate, what have you done? You've just given us the game.
That's amazing.
Who scored the winner in the North London derby last season?
Who scored the winner?
Yeah.
Oh, your mate, Trossard.
It was Trossard. That's a nice little segue into a couple of little stats I've got on Trossard, because not that he needed to win me over or convince me, but Chris was so negative about him. I felt I had to defend him.
That's unfair. Chris isn't here to call that out.
I'm going to read a few things out about him just generally, and then I'll dig a little deeper into some of the stats. Only Saka has had more goal contributions since Trossard joined.
Yep.
For Arsenal, obviously. Since Arteta has been at Arsenal, so Trossard came halfway through Arteta's current tenure.
Yeah.
Only 5 players have scored more goals. 3 have more assists, and only 9 have played more. Yeah. Last season, Trossard played 56 times. Now, in the last 30 years, only Lee Dixon and Nigel Winterburn have beaten that.
Yeah.
Okay, so when everybody is falling down around him,
he just keeps on going.
Stroppy head himself is turning up. His stats, 23-24 season, he scored 12 goals, had 1 assist from an XG of 7.9. So he outperformed his XG considerably.
Oh, he's a good finisher.
Last season, he had 8 goals and 7 assists from a 7.2 XG. And this season so far in the league, they're in the league. In the league so far this season, in 9 games, he's got 2 goals and 2 assists. He's got 4 goals and 4 assists overall. I think he's our top goal contributor so far this season. Like, you can't fault him. He's stepping up.
So on the appearance thing, most appearance since like Winterburn and Dixon, 56 games last season, 9th on the appearance list in Arteta's tenure, having only been there for half of it. From the eye test, all we've got is the eyes, what we can see from the stands on TV and all those sorts of things. What do you think is different about his game that makes him so available compared to others?
Well, he hasn't started as many of those games as maybe some of the other players have. That's for one.
He won't be flogged 90 minutes after 90 minutes.
And he's played a variety of different roles as well.
Okay.
And he's not the one that leads the press.
No.
When you think of him, you don't think of Martinelli chasing back. You don't think of him chasing back like Martinelli to support the fullback. Not saying he doesn't do it, but you just don't. You talk about the eye test.
Doesn't have the same intensity, does it?
You're not aware. Yeah. You don't think of, when you think of Ødegaard, and I'm thinking of the positions that he's played in the pitch.
Pressing from the front.
You don't think of him pressing like Ødegaard presses, with the intensity that he presses. And he's played false 9 before. You think of Gyökeres. You think of Gyökeres. He doesn't have that profile on the pitch either.
The physicality, up against the defenders.
So his game is a lot more subtle and a lot more intricate and a lot more within a smaller space, perhaps.
Yep.
You talk about the eye test, that's my sense of his game. I don't know.
I've got the exact same sense.
I don't know. I'd love to know, like, kilometre-wise, how much ground he covers per game by comparison to Martinelli or Ødegaard. I know that information's out there. I just didn't think of looking it up.
Well, no, and you didn't know I was going to ask that question. But, just from the way we see it, I see exactly the same. I see someone who, like you say, they're subtle in their movements. They do press, but it's not with the same intensity. You know, Odegaard is that Duracell bunny, just non-stop on the opposition defence as they're trying to play out. And yeah, Martinelli running back at 100 miles an hour is not really what Trossard does.
By the same token, he's not like the Ozil player either. You don't get the feeling that he's not committing 100%. That's never the case.
No.
I mean, I've almost come full circle. Sorry, Chris has almost come full circle. Midway through the second half at Sunderland, I nudged Dan and said, Trossard's been our man of the match.
Yep.
This is before he scored. Before he scored.
And what a goal that was, by the way.
Yeah, and then he scored. And he's ambidextrous. Does that cover feet as well as hands?
We can say that. We're English teachers. We can make up the words. I know what you mean, though.
I think there's another word. He seems equally confident on either right or left foot, which is again something I know. We had the ultimate left-right footed player in Santi Cazorla, who was just brilliant, like left-right foot. And I'm not saying Trossard is at that level with his weaker foot, but
he seems well balanced, doesn't he?
Yeah, and that's a big weapon in his arsenal. In that a defender doesn't really know how to stand him up, show him wide, let him inside. They're not going to let him inside now because he'll find the top corner.
Oh, it was a beautiful goal against Sunderland. Can I also reference another beautiful moment last year against Spurs when he folded Pedro Porro like an accordion, just with a nice little shimmy and a turn. That was a beautiful moment.
They were phoning A&E, weren't they?
Lots of replays, lots of memes. It was the way, like his legs kind of split in that, new baby deer trying to walk for the first time look. But it was the way his head flung as well. It had a rubbery texture and it was just delicious.
You've been watching that on repeat today, haven't you?
I've seen it a few times, yeah.
Saka, Eze, Rice, Zubamendi, Trossard, Merino, Spain's top scorer in there.
It's a great front line.
I said the same thing. My only hesitation here is I said exactly the same thing prior to the Sunderland game. And that team did not turn up first half. Kudos to Sunderland for that, but the team did not turn up that first half. If we play on Sunday in the same vein as we played from minute 46 to minute 74 against Sunderland, it would be a comfortable home victory.
Oh, yeah. But
because we are that good. With, hopefully, Madueke and maybe Odegaard to come off the bench as well to help, spice things up against tiring legs and minds in the last 20 minutes. Because every opposition player and manager that I've heard talking about Arsenal this season talks about the relentlessness of Arsenal.
Yeah.
Not just with the ball, but without the ball. It's constant. They turn up and you cannot rest for a second. And last 15, 20 minutes bringing on... It would have been the case against Sunderland as well, had we had Madueke on the bench to come on. I mean, we still had players on the bench that he could have used, but chose not to, annoyingly. But, lesson learned perhaps. He won't, with a single goal advantage, he may not sit back next time. You never know. He may be a little bit more front-footed because he does learn, Arteta. He does learn. He does. He's not one of these Ange Postecoglou types who will not amend their tactics at all. Amorim as well, I guess, would be another one who's wedded to a particular system and doesn't tactically bend to the opposition or the game state. Who would you like to see score the winner then in the 92nd minute?
I'm going narrative. Stef's narrative is back. Eze. Because obviously the whole thing about him maybe ending up at Tottenham. Or Dowman from the bench. Just because.
Oh, his first goal. Oh.
I mean, I don't really want that. Because, The idea of a 15-year-old in the North London derby feels a bit weird, but it's not.
No.
Edge
I'm
that
all
it
over
used
that.
To have.
The youngest ever
interesting,
goal
wouldn't it?
scorer.
Youngest ever goal scorer in the North London derby from the bench. Have that.
Big step towards making the plane.
I just want to win. I don't care who scores. David Raya could score for all I care, just as long as we get the 3 points. It's so important, especially with the week that's coming up, because depending on how Sunday goes, will impact how we approach maybe Bayern, because I feel like I really want to press any advantage we might get in these league games. Because I put it this way, I think as Chris alluded to with some of his comments, which we haven't got to, if we don't win against Spurs, but City win, they're within a point. They could be within a point. And yeah, whereas that will feel a little bit catastrophic. Whereas were we to drop points against Bayern in the Champions League, that wouldn't. Look, we just want to go out and compete and play our best.
If you're asking me which game of the next 3 will I sacrifice, Bayern Munich all day long. Every time you ask me that question, that will be my answer.
Yeah, that's the one, isn't it?
If we've got to win 2 and lose 1 of the next 3, well, Bayern Munich all day long. City's next game after Newcastle away is Leeds at home, and they play that the day before we go to Chelsea. So if we don't beat Spurs, we'll be in second place. Now, I like thinking like that, because the last time I thought like that, we were about to go 8 points behind Liverpool. And that worked out okay, didn't it? Yeah,
maybe Haaland has had a couple of nights on champagne instead of rare steak or whatever it is.
Raw milk.
Yeah, exactly. That he eats celebrating going to the World Cup.
So I'll paint another scenario for you.
Okay.
City drop points at Newcastle. Let's not be greedy and say they draw.
Okay.
We beat Spurs. We are 6 points clear of them.
Yeah.
That's right. Rather than,
is that it?
Rather than, yeah, we were saying we were going to be 1 point ahead of them.
Yeah.
Now we're 6 points ahead of them.
Oh, that would be great.
There you go.
Do you remember when we did our half-term report during the international break and we predicted City's results? I think we all said they'd beat Newcastle.
We did, yeah.
Yeah. So.
But that doesn't mean they will.
No, it doesn't. And Voltemade, I think, scored again for Germany.
We also said
in the break.
We also said that Arsenal would beat Spurs and Chelsea.
Yeah, we did. And maybe our collective wisdom has shit for brains. And hopefully some of us individuals are slightly better.
It's mad how delicate the Arsenal fan base mentality is.
Just me.
No, because the Gabriel news was like as Dan said in the car on the way back from Sunderland, every now and then he just had a wave of emotion and said, why do I feel like there's been a death in the family?
Yeah, Gabriel's injury feels like a death in the family.
That's kind of...
We are in mourning for his death. And the only thing that will get us over that is moving on by...
Is winning.
Winning, yeah.
Yeah, winning.
Seeing that we can win without him. Not that we wouldn't welcome him back with open arms, but just that we find a way, that we realise that that front line has the strength.
I don't want to look back on his injury as the reason we didn't win the league.
We did that stuff last year.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Saka, although a lot of them were in attacking sense. It was funny, isn't it?
So look, we'll beat Spurs, we'll beat Chelsea, we'll beat Brentford, we'll beat Villa, we'll beat Wolves, and we'll look back on this international break and think, what were we worried about?
What were we worried about? Oh my God.
And I've put money on it. I haven't.
No, good.
A fool and his money, and all that. Okay, right, let's leave it there. Again, caveat, we are recording this on Wednesday, so please forgive us if loads of injury news comes out in the next couple of days that warrants most of what we've said redundant. Steph, where can people find us? Because you didn't mention
that. They can find us at North Bank Pod. So give us a subscribe on YouTube. If you listen wherever you get your podcasts on Spotify or Apple, you can also watch us on YouTube at North Bank Pod.
Here's a question for you.
Okay.
If I offered you, listeners, viewers, Arsenal winning the Premier League or your country winning the World Cup this season or this summer. So Arsenal winning the Premier League or your country winning the World Cup. Okay. What are you taking? Right.
So message us leave a comment on our YouTube video version of this episode. Let us know. Club or country. Arsenal winning the league or your country winning the World Cup. And if you happen to be a supporter of another club, what about your club? If you're a Tottenham fan who's seen North London Derby and we've come up and you've watched it and made it somehow to the end of this,
well done.
And why? Would you take Tottenham winning the league over England winning the league or wherever you're from? Yeah, leave a message.
And I'll tell you what I think at the start of the next episode.
I'm going to start putting, when I put this tweet out, I'll put hashtag club v country.
Cool. Right. Cool. Cheers for the chat. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you at the North London Derby, Block 6, giving it large. Come on. And we'll chat on Sunday at some point to record a celebration or a wake of some description. Anyway, cheers.
Yeah, bye. See you Sunday. Cheers.
The North Bank, an Arsenal podcast. Subscribe, rate and review on your app and find us on your socials at North Bank Pod. Email hello@thenorthbankafc.com and check out our website, thenorthbankafc.com. Produced by the Podcast Company.